Hi, coaches. Welcome to our Break the Barriers call tonight. I'm Shannon Galladay, and we're excited to have you here if you're watching the recording or watching live. So we are so excited. We have a guest speaker tonight. Our leader for our leadership call tonight is Cindy Roberts from Utah. She is a very busy mom of 11 kids and 12 grandkids, and she has a business at home in addition to Beachbody, and she's very involved in her church, and she just has a lot going on. But she takes time to take care of herself so that she can be the best wife and mom to her kids and grandkids. She's lost over 45 pounds using Beachbody workouts and Shakeology and plugging into her challenges. And she is an amazing coach on our team. She's really close to becoming a diamond leader on our team, and she's rocking her team calls and team groups that she just started. So welcome to the call, Cindy.
Thank you. Thank you, Shannon. Golly, what an introduction.
Woo!
So tonight for our call, I was listening to personal development in the car because for me, the closest Walmart or any type of shopping is about almost 2 hours away. So I drive a lot. And so I try to listen to personal development books while I'm driving. And the one I just finished listening was the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. There we go. By Stephen Covey. And one of the sections in there just kind of really hit me because it's an area I struggle in. And so I thought, okay, so I'm going to teach an area that I struggle in. And so I'm not perfect. So this will be an experiment with me to figure things out myself. So I'm kind of excited to share it. But the one that I wanted to talk about was the habit of having empathetic communication with people. One of the things that I learned reading the book and also listening to the seminar that he presented, he said that comparatively few people have had any training in listening at all. Most of the skills that we learn, they're not listening skills, they're talking skills, because we always want to communicate and we're always talking. So communication comes in lots of different sources. It comes with written word in a book, or on your TV or on your computer or through the internet, even talking one-on-one. A lot of the ways that we communicate is just, we're always vomiting at the mouth is what I call it. You're just always blah, 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 and we don't take time to really use the ears. I heard an analogy once that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you should use them in that proportion. So you should be listening more than you're talking. And for me, that's really hard. So that's why I picked this topic to learn more about. So he said, if you want to interact effectively with me, to influence me meaning your spouse, your child, your neighbor, your boss, your coworker, your friend, you first need to understand me. And how do we do that? He said the real key to your influence with me is your example or your actual conduct. Your example flows naturally out of your character or the kind of person you truly are. And not what others say about you, not what people read about you, but who your actions show. And some of the things that I've learned is that as a Beachbody coach, I'm not just learning things to be a better coach. I'm learning things in a leadership position to be a better me, period. So a better mom, a better wife, a better sister, a better friend, whatever. And that will flow into my Beachbody business. So the things that my character shows about me, am I real? Am I radiating true communication with people? He says also, unless you're influenced by my uniqueness, I'm not going to be influenced by your advice. And I find that's true, that if we don't really understand or know people and how unique or different they are, and we understand that, then we don't really become friends and there's no real deep relationship. Those that I have come to really understand and love are those that I've taken the time to understand their uniqueness or what's different about them, and learn from that relationship. He says you have to build the skills of empathetic listening on a base of character that inspires openness and trust. And you have to build the emotional bank account that creates a commerce between hearts. I've got to turn on a light so I can see what I'm reading. So let's talk about what an emotional bank account is. Every one of us has a bucket that gets filled or emptied or poked holes in every day, and emotionally. So if you picture a pitcher, we always want things going in and not coming out. So an emotional bank account would be nice things said about you. You know, you look lovely today. Oh, I really appreciate what you did today. Thank you for helping me. Wow, that was a creative way of thinking. Those type of things. So emotionally, you're building that person up. A non-comment would be, what did you do that for? Anything negative that kind of goes, kind of deflates you. So you're either blowing up your balloon or you're letting air out in the comments or the things that you say with people and when you're building relationships. So that's your emotional bank account. And that interaction or that commerce between hearts happens throughout your conversation with people. So he says that with empathetic listening, seek first to understand involves a very deep shift in paradigm. One of the things that we as humans typically do is when we are listening, we're not really listening to listen, we're listening to respond, or we're listening to think, well, what can I say in this situation? What can I put out there? Instead of really listening and internalizing and interpreting what they are really trying to say or to understand them. We also, what we do is we filter everything through our own paradigms or our own thought processes and reading our own autobiography into their feelings. And some of the phrases would be, oh, I know exactly how you feel. I went through the very same thing. Let me tell you. Or so, you know, we're always projecting our thoughts and feelings and emotions on their situations. And that's a no-no. We're not supposed to do that. So he said there's 5 different levels of listening. The first one is ignoring, and I do that quite well. If somebody's really irritating, my husband says, Cindy, how can you not hear the noise of the children? And I go, huh? There's noise? So I kind of block the noise or block, and then we can do that. We can totally ignore. We can practice pretending that you're listening. You go, yeah, right. And we've all done that when we're on the phone. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, gotcha. Then we can also practice what we call selective listening, where you only hear certain parts of the conversation. And then the last one is, the fourth one is we practice attentive listening. And that's paying attention and focusing energy on the words that are being said. But we need to go a level farther. And the 5th level is empathetic listening. So we need to go deeper instead of ignoring or pretending or selective or attentive. We need to actually move it up to that one next level. And he says, when I say empathetic listening, I mean listening with intent to understand. Empathetic comes from empathy. And it means to actually get inside another person's frame of reference. You look through it and you see the world and the way they see the world. You understand their paradigm, you understand how they feel. Empathy is not sympathy. Sympathy is a form of agreement or a form of judgment, and people often feed off of sympathy. But what we're trying to do is to go a level deeper than that. And then just really quick, he says, only 10% of our communication is represented by the words we say. Another 30% is represented by our sounds, and 60% by our body language. And he emphasizes that we want to listen more with our ears and with our eyes. So and this is kind of hard Beachbody coaching because we're usually on the phone. We're not usually talking to people. In face-to-face. But if you're on the phone and you can hear sounds of what they're communicating sound-wise, that the heavy sighs or the desperation in their voices or the excitement in their voices, then you have a better chance of being an empathetic listener, even though you can't see. So what I wanted to do is to practice a little bit of reflective listening. And this is where the participation part comes in. So that we can practice at least listening to that one level, to the attentive level, and then we can practice with our family and with other individuals that we see face to face, the more empathetic listening. But when you're doing reflective listening, it's you're parroting back what you hear. So if I was talking to a potential customer last week, and she was telling me, I said, so tell me more about you so I can understand who you are. And so she just started going blah, 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 and just going and telling me all these things. And I had to stop myself from saying, oh, you mean like, or, oh, I understand, I got, and trying to put my own paradigms on her thought processes. And so it was a physical bite my tongue. Because then I wanted her to finish saying what she was saying so that I could say, oh, it sounds to me like you are struggling with this thought process or whatever her situation was. And it really bothered you that this was happening, or I can see that that was very frustrating. One of the things when you do reflective communication like that is that you need to make sure that you're not that you're real, that you're intent on the conversation and that you're intent on them, so that they really know that you care, because they can also tell that parroting back or reflective listening is a technique. In fact, I tried it on my husband tonight. He was very upset and things weren't happening at work that were really good. And so I was trying to be the empathetic listener, but it came across as a technique instead of really me listening, because he said, yeah, Dr. Cindy, what are you thinking? So I kind of went, oops, okay, that one failed. So you just got to be careful. So this is where I need somebody to play along with me, and we can role play. And I realized that my internet is really slow and unstable, and I'm sorry, that's what happens when you live in the boonies. So is there somebody that wants to volunteer and play along with me? You will, Kaili? Thanks.
Okay. Yeah.
Great. So what I want you to do, Kaili, is I'm going to be the listener. You're going to be the one I'm listening to, okay?
Okay.
So I want you to, we're just going to pretend like you're a customer and I've called you, and I'm going to try to understand you, okay? So like I said, I'm not perfect at this by any stretch of the word, so I'm learning just as long as you guys are, right along with you. So, okay, so hi, Kaili. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Hey, I just want to get to know you a little bit more, Kaili. So could you tell me a little bit about you?
Yeah. Well, I'm a mom. I have 2 kids, 4 and 2, and I'm a I have 3 sisters and a brother, and I don't know. This is third. Okay.
That's great. No, I love learning more about your family. That's awesome. So it sounds like you come from a family that you enjoy being around. No way.
You know, because I have a little boy who's very adventurous, so it's time for me to start going camping. And yeah, and after that I need to get back on my working out, because I've been kind of slacking on that. Had birthday parties and stuff like that. So
Okay. Well, it sounds to me like with that you're having fun, but you also feel maybe that you're struggling in your own personal goals of wanting to be fit.
Hi. Sorry, you're cutting out.
I know I am.
Hey, Cindy, I wonder if you called the phone number, if you'd have a better connection.
Paused.
Okay, let me try it just a sec.
Okay. Where are you going camping?
Up in Sourdough. My mom has a piece of property up there. And so we're going up there, and I've already gone once, but I am not a camper.
So is that in Utah?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like in Hunts. Which is scary.
Welcome to Zoom. Please enter your meeting ID followed by the pound or hash sign. If you've joined via a computer, enter your participant ID followed by the pound or hash sign. Otherwise, just press pound or hash to continue. You are in the Zoom meeting now. There are 6 participants in the meeting. This meeting is being recorded. If you are in the Zoom meeting, it is being recorded. If you are in the Zoom meeting, it is being recorded.
Oh, good grief. This is a mess. I am so sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay, I don't know what it's doing, Shannon.
Here, do you want to call my phone and then you can talk through my phone?
Sure. Work better.
Okay, you're here.
Okay, I am here. Let's see if it'll keep recording. I'm sorry.
Okay. No problem.
Okay, I'm going to turn the mute off.
Okay. So let's go back to Tahiti. So what I got from what I hear, if you're planning on going camping and you have a little son, is that right? Okay.
Yes.
And he's a tourist, but yet you're looking at your fitness and it's what you want it to be. Is that right?
Yeah, I've been slacking lately just because there's been lots of barbecues and birthdays, and so after this camping trip, I want to get back on track.
Oh, okay. So you want to do something about your health and fitness then? You're excited to get back into it?
Yes, very excited. I'm going to be doing the size workout.
Oh, that's a fun workout. Are you a dancer then? Do you like dancing?
I love dancing. I don't know if I'm any good, but I love it.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to stop that one for the moment. But so hopefully from that example you can see that I was trying to understand her more and find out more about her. And yes, I did do some reflective listening, so repeating that to her so I could understand. That's what we're trying to do, understand our customers and our coaches better. So if we can bump up to a level of deeper and trying to find the root to their emotions, then we'll be more successful. So, I think that was all that I wanted to share. Except for it is deeply therapeutic and healing. Use the empathetic listening because it gives a person a psychological air. It means it gives you a way to air who you really are and what you're really trying to put across. Next to physical survival, the greatest need of a human being is psychological survival. To be understood, affirmed, and to be validated, and to be appreciated. So that's where we're heading in our communication with our possible or potential coaches and customers.
Awesome. I love it, Cindy.
Thanks. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
No worries. So Cindy, I would like to hear how you have helped your coaches this last month by using some of those skills, because you had one that earned Success Club.
Yes, my one gal that really wanted to move her business, she reached Success Club 8, which I was really impressed with. But some of the things that I tried to do with her was I tried to listen to what her goals were and to really understand why she wanted to build her business, why she was actually losing weight and overcoming some of her fears. She had a personal things on her personal page about her fitness journey. She did great in her fitness page of posting her successes and lots of fitness things, but not on her personal page. And so I challenged her to post one thing about her business and then to keep moving on and posting something about her fitness several days in a row. And she did. And one of her posts got a lot of attention because a lot of people have seen that she lost weight. Like she's lost about 35 pounds. So there is a difference. So what I did is I kept encouraging her and listening to her to help give her not necessarily motivation because she was motivated already, but the encouragement to know that she could do it. So believe.
Awesome. Great job. That's a huge accomplishment, having a coach earn Success Club. Woo, woo, woo.
I was pretty happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how are you going to use these skills in your team going forward?
In my team, what I'm going to be doing is when I do my one-on-one calls, I'm not going to project my own thoughts or my own paradigm on my coaches or my customers. So I'm going to do a lot more of listening instead of talking. Not that I really want to just be a bump on a log. And I don't want to immediately find a solution for people. I want to come around to the solution. Because sometimes I think that I suggest a challenge pack that really isn't the best. In fact, I know I did for one of my customers, and she hasn't come back. So I know I suggested the wrong thing because I really didn't listen. So that is my goal, is to really start listening to people.
Awesome. I love that. You're awesome. Thank you, Cindy. That was great.
Thank you.
Sure. Well, we'll open it up to questions, and so if it's okay, I'm going to hang up and you can jump in on your line if you need to. Is that okay?
That works. Thanks.
Thanks. Okay, awesome. So now we're going to open it up to any questions, feedback, experiences, anything that you guys have been going through that you think might be helpful if you went through something with your team. Or I know this last week was pretty huge, trying to reach Success Club at the end of the month. So if there's anything that you guys learned from that experience with you or your coaches, if anyone wants to share.
I got a negative Success Club points. And I called and because Janelle was like, you should call because that doesn't sound right. And so I did, and they gave it back to me. So
Oh, good.
everybody experiences that, call. So that's my advice.
Kaylee,
That's good.
Yeah.
tell them what happened there so they can kind of hear what situation we went through.
So I signed up a coach who bought a challenge pack, and she got her challenge pack, and she didn't get the 21-day fix. I guess she had accidentally ordered just the on-demand, and so instead of them just sending her the 21-day fix, they just canceled her entire order, and then she reordered it somehow under her name. So they didn't give me the credit, so that's why it was the -2 Success Club points. But then I called them and said, well, I didn't think that coaches could buy their own challenge pack. And so, yeah, they were, it was the error on their part, I guess. Just the whole situation was kind of, just kind of confusing. And anyways, so long story short, I was able, I wasn't going to call him, but I did. I decided to call him. And yeah, it was an error on their part. So they gave it back to me.
Awesome. Well, that's great. It's always good to look into it because especially at the end of the month, it's so crazy. So yeah, give them a call, check it out, and that will help your team too.
Yeah.
So awesome. That's great. You got it back.
Yay.
Sweet. Woo. Awesome. Any other experiences or feedback? Well, I'll share something. Oh, Janelle, were you going to say something? Go ahead.
I feel like I've talked enough tonight, so I was leery. But Cindy, as you went through that list, I was like, oh, I do that. I do that. I do that. I do that. Ah. So I have some more to do. How's that?
Well, that's why I did it, because like I said at the beginning, I am so not good at this. So when I read that list myself, I just went, oh, man.
Oh, good job.
So we
learned a lot. So
yeah,
you did great.
I'm going to go over this with my mom because she is like this, and she's always projecting her thoughts on my situation, and it drives me nuts. So this is good information for me.
That's funny. Awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say similar thing. So last month was one of my hardest months since the last year. Anyway, so I was like, okay, I gotta hit Success Club. Like, I've been out of town, I've been moving, like there's been all these things going on, but I'm gonna hit Success Club no matter what. I knew I didn't talk to enough people. I knew I didn't meet enough new people. And so at the end of the month, I was really just like pushing, the challenge packs, coaching, come on. And I remember doing that when I first started, like just in a panic, trying to hit Success Club. And I never hit success, like I would either, barely make it like 3 points or something. Like, anyway, it just never worked out that well. And then at the end, when I look back, I'm like, I didn't really listen to the people. I didn't really take time for the people. I was just trying to get my goal. And so anyway, it was a huge lesson to me, because this whole time I've been doing awesome. I've reached Success Club 20 months in a row, which is awesome for me. But I broke my streak of Success Club 10, and I know it's because I just was trying to push it on people. And so anyway, I don't know if anyone can relate, but the way that I've reached Success Club so many times is just taking the shrug approach and just saying, if they want to do it, great. If they don't want to do it, great. And usually they'll join, and they can tell that I'm not desperate, if you want to do it, great. If you don't want to do it, great. And also just genuinely talking to people. And like Cindy said, a lot of things she said, I'm like, I need to work on 20 of those things. And so, but this is a learned skill. And so I think even, I've been a coach 3.5 years, but I just wanted to share, kind of one of my biggest failures this last week of going through that. And so realizing the process works. Like, we need to meet enough new people every month. We need to take time to really provide value, get to know them. I didn't do a free challenge. Do a free challenge. Just really go through the process, and it works. But in the crunch time, still stay true to, how you're going about your business instead of, and I mean, who knows, like some of those people I barely knew. So I think that was a big problem. I didn't really know them well enough. So they may come back later. I know one came back. So you never know. But anyway, that was just a huge learning point to me, that like, no matter where we're at in the month or how much we want Success Club, like still stick true to all the things that we're learning and all the things that we're doing. And it's just not worth it. Like I'd rather like not reach Success Club and like know that I did it like in a good way than like pushing stuff. Yeah. So anyway, that was my failure that I'm sharing with everyone. So. All right. Any other comments, questions, feedback? All right. Well, I think that was an awesome call. Thank you so much, Cindy, for taking time. I think that's a really important concept, and I loved the points that you brought out in that book. So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Awesome. Well, so our next leadership call next week will be Melissa Jenkins. So you're up next for the leadership. And then our next team call next week will be Marcy Nissel from Arizona. So Marcy Nissel will be the team leader for next week, posting in the groups, doing the team call, posting in the Break the Barriers group. And yeah, it's going to be another awesome week. So thanks, leaders, for coming. Thanks for being involved in our group. I am loving the Break the Barriers group. I feel like we're really connecting and learning from each other. So, and I love hearing you guys on these team calls. It's just so awesome. You guys are doing amazing at leading and running the groups. It's been awesome. So have a great night, everyone. I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.